What a night at Bramall Lane, and England getting to the final of Euro 2022 is dominating not just the back pages of the newspapers but the front pages as well. And to get a better look at what all of these papers are talking about and who in particular they're talking about, let's head back to Sheffield now and rejoin the bus crew with Kyle and Tom.
Thank you, Bella. Yes, after an incredible night last night, it is time to look at some of those papers and some of the headlines, Tom.
Yeah, and actually we'll start in the Times because their chief football writer, Henry Winter, has been talking about Leah Williamson and her captaincy and how calm she is. How impressed have you been with her captaincy?
Yeah, I think you can see that she's a leader on and off the pitch. She's done it for Arsenal. In terms of obviously the way it happened sort of before the tournament as well, there was a bit of, you know, a talk around it. So the fact that she's taken that in a stride, but again, it's in Sarina Wiegman's image, isn't it, in terms of that calmness that, you know, emanates through Leah and the rest of the squad as well. And I think, yeah, you can just tell that she's not fazed by anything. I was watching her in the tunnel yesterday and she looked calm. And yeah, that's what you want. When the moments are difficult, you want to look to your captain and know that they've got control.
And looking at, I mean, her journey from 2019 and France and the World Cup and then being embedded within the squad just in, 3 years to now be captain, you can see that this is a position she could hold on to for a very long time, Sophie.
Yeah, I mean, she's only young as well, but I think it was a great decision. Obviously, she's not a big sort of standout necessarily, but she's always very consistent. You know what you're getting with her. She's very professional on and off the pitch, and like Court said, very similar to Sabrina, she's very calm and she's got this sort of calming nature and aura around her, and I think she brings sort of a composure and a calmness and a confidence to the players around her.
Being a Sunderland fan, Steph Houghton is a real hero to all of us. We love her up there. Have you got some sympathy for her for missing out on all of this?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think she's been at the forefront, hasn't she, of bringing women's football forward in England to another level. I think, you know, she worked so hard to get herself back fit for the tournament, and I think she felt that, you know, she could bring something to the tournament, and I still think in a way she could have. But, you know, in terms of then going forward and what this squad will do in the future, maybe it was, you know, sort of a decision from Wiegman in terms of looking at that, thinking, right, I want to make a fresh start, and this is where this team's going. So, but yeah, a massive amount of sympathy for Steph.
Right, moving on to the next paper then, and former England striker Chris Sutton, well, it highlights the efforts of Mary Earps in goal, who's now kept 4 clean sheets in 5 games. Talk to us about how important and how crucial that first save was over the bar.
Yeah, it's huge, especially when forwards are giving goalkeepers praise. You know it's good. But no, I think obviously the initial save in the first 20 seconds, the one she tipped over the bar, and again there's a calmness. I think for me, when I always think if I know I've got a keeper that's calm, then that comes through the squad, and you know that if you're going to score goals, then you're not going to concede at the other end. I think it just brings something a bit different to the squad, and that calmness and composedness.
I know you're at the other end of the pitch, of course, Sophie, but if a goalkeeper isn't having much to do, it hasn't had that much to do all tournament, it must be very difficult for her to stay focused, and she certainly has done that.
Yeah, I think that's the knack with being a keeper. I don't think I could do it, to be honest. To stay switched on. I think there's been times, like you say, this tournament, we've not really needed her. But to have that confidence, especially the defenders, to have that confidence back there, to know that when they do, she's switched on and she's ready. And not just defensively as well. I think in possession, she makes good decisions. She doesn't really put the ball at risk, but she can play with her feet as well. So I think throughout the tournament, like I said, she's not had too much to do, but yesterday some brilliant saves.
I wouldn't be able to reach the bar. Everyone would just chip me.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to see what she's managed to do over the last few years as well, playing herself back into the squad under Sarina Wiegman, because she's got some great competition just behind her, patiently waiting on that bench.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, for years gone by, this sort of maybe the goalkeeper was the weak position for us, but as you say, in terms of looking at that, in terms of the strength and depth that we've got, she's played herself back in so well. You can see how well she manages the game, obviously 3-0, and she's rolling on the ball, and it's one of them things, when it's your keeper, you love it. When it's the opposition keeper, you absolutely hate it. But I think that's the mark of a good goalkeeper, the fact that when they haven't got much to do, when they're called into action, they're concentrating and they keep you in the game. And yeah, Mary's done fantastically well.
Well, the Sun heaps praise on Sarina Wiegman, as we all have been throughout the tournament, ever since she got the job, actually. What's changed since she's come in?
I think the key word we keep mentioning is sort of calmness and confidence, but I think a big thing is her experience. Obviously, especially in this tournament, she's won with the Netherlands, and she's done it as a player as well. And I think she brings that sort of winning edge, but the team just look like they've got this togetherness that I've never seen, and everyone's sort of got confidence in each other. But it's just the calmness and the composure, really, I think, that she brings. She just sort of emanates it. And
the experience, because she's won this tournament before, 2017.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me, the big one, we've talked about the calmness, but freedom. I think this is the big thing. Me and Sophie both know sometimes being in the setup, it was quite rigid for years gone by, and that was your position, and you do this, and you don't do a step over, you don't make a forward pass. It was hard to maybe bring a bit of flair to your game.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that in the way we're playing at the moment. I think, like we mentioned the Russo goal, the audacity to try something like that, and we've had a few instances throughout previous games. It's just that you can tell she's got the trust in the players and gives them the freedom to go, I trust you, try something.
So, Courtney, are you blaming others for the fact you've never scored a backheel goal like that?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? You didn't try it?
Because there's nothing to do with the lack of skill, honestly.
Right, let's have a look at the next paper then. Finally, The Guardian. They focus on the joy that last night brought to everyone, the thousands who were watching it in Trafalgar Square as well, and the millions back home. We have touched on it already upstairs, but seeing those scenes at Trafalgar Square, seeing what it means to people in and around Sheffield as well, it's special.
Yeah, very special. And I think, growing up, Sophie's a bit younger than me, but when I was growing up, major tournaments in terms of, on the television, it was just the men's major tournament. She didn't see it. So the fact that, what I loved as well, like I was walking through the city yesterday, and you've got dads, young boys, young girls, the families going together. I saw a guy with Walsh on his back on the shirt, and just the fact that everyone's loving it, everyone's getting involved, and that sort of old saying, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So the fact that there's young boys and girls now watching women's football at a major tournament, I think is huge.
I think the difference as well for this tournament is previously it's almost felt like, the men aren't playing, so we might as well support the women, whereas now you're seeing people actively going out and seeking women's football, actively going, no, I want this player on the back of my shirt, things like that. And it's not, obviously men's football's huge, and we've got a way to go in terms of if we'd ever catch it up, but I just think you've got, it's not just male football fans sort of giving their support. I think we're growing a fan base now, and it's great to see just the likes of women on the back of shirts.
And I think it's being taken in its own right as well. I think for so long we've compared it, whereas now it's getting through to people that it's different. It is. We can't get away from it biologically, anatomically, but now if you appreciate it for what it is, you'll enjoy it. And I think this is what we're seeing now.
Well, will you be watching the final then? Just very quickly, you're going to be on the bus with us here with a big screen, or what?
Well, yeah. If you're inviting us, if we've got the invite,
yeah, we've got the invite. I'll be there. Have we got the weekend off?
Yeah, we have as well.
Great. Who knows?
Oh, wow, we'll all be celebrating.
Who knows where it's taking us?
Negotiate your pay with Kyle. He's probably going to be a bit more generous.